Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video, and you see the title, The Death of Diana, the Kane versus Drew scenario, and a lot of you are probably wondering where this is coming from. So to quickly run through that, I just dropped a video this past Sunday where all the episode descriptions got leaked, so I went through every single one of them and matched them up to all the scenes we received in the teaser trailer and also all the new exclusive photos. So after going through all those, everyone was in my comments putting two and two together based off the descriptions and came to the conclusion that it is Diana who is more than likely gonna die in season 4, and I'm gonna be breaking it down and explaining everything in this video. But if you want to see the full episode descriptions, I'm gonna go over a few in this video but not all. If you want every single one of them, go check out my last video on the channel. But like I said, in this video we're talking about the death of Diana, everything she's gonna go through, Monet of course finding out about her and Drew's secret, Kane and his involvement. So without further ado, if you guys will leave a like, comment, subscribe, I really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, to quickly recap what happened at the end of season 3, Diana won her independence, and talking to Monet about potentially leaving New York, she decides she wants out the game after her, Drew, Kane all discovered that Monet had a hand in killing Lorenzo. Once they find this out, Drew and Diana of course came up with a plan to get Tariq to go shoot Monet, and then of course they were going to set Tariq up to get killed by Kane. Of course this plan completely went to shit. Diana was actually about to bring Monet back inside, but Tasha spent the block too fast, shot Monet up, and then they had to just go ahead, go through with the plan and say it was Tariq who set the whole thing up. Of course, at the end of the season, we see them all surround Tariq. They're finally about to kill him, but he gets away with Brayden. Now, with all that being said, we know going into season 4, Drew and Diana are gonna have to do a lot to cover up that they had a hand in Monet getting shot. Which brings us to the teaser trailer that we received, where we get multiple scenes, one specifically of Diana. Looks like she's praying or some type of vigil surrounded by candles, more than likely praying for Monet to be okay with her being in the hospital. We also see Drew and Monet talking in her bar. We see Drew walking away. I think there's gonna be more attempts of them trying to keep under wraps what they did. And of course, last but not least, the scene we see of both Diana and Drew running. We see them taking off. We don't know what's for, but we can assume it's because Monet found out what they did. Now this brings us to the episode descriptions. Episode 4:1 description, and this one along with an exclusive picture straight up tells us that the story is going to continue right from the end of season 3. With episode 4:1, I don't die easy, saying Tariq and Brayden must find a way to secure their own safety as Noma and Tejada's race to take them out. Monet fights for her life and for another chance to do right by her children. How I know this takes place where season 3 left off is because we got this exclusive picture of the Tejada siblings looking like they're in the hospital, and if you focus on what all of them are wearing, this jacket Diana is wearing, the outfit of Drew, and you go back to the scene where they all were surrounded Tariq and you look at it, this is the exact same fits they're wearing that they had on. So if that's the case, that means we're picking up exactly where we left off, right there, jumping into the action. If we're to believe all this is true, I told you guys in the last video, this means that all the scenes we got in the teaser trailer is gonna take place in the first 5 episodes. Because think about it, if they're splitting this season into 2 parts, why would they give us scenes of things that won't take place way until September? They wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. So every scene and picture that we got so far is taking place within the first 5 episodes that we're getting between June and July. It's episode 3 and 4 where it's seeming like Monet will find out that it was of course them. With episode 4:3, Burt writes saying Monet digs into who shot her, realizing her kids might not be being honest with her. And 4:4, The Reckoning, Drew and Diana are on the run, Tariq and Monet are on the hunt. Monet must decide between the path to revenge and the path to forgiveness, which once again makes sense with the scenes I showed you guys of Drew and Diana running, which also proves the theory that most of the scenes in the teaser trailer takes place early on into season 4. And that brings us to one of the two main topics of this video, Diana's dead. With episode 4 of 6, Devil's Playground, and episode 4 of 7, I Can't Fix This. Episode 4 of 6 saying Monet fights to get her family from under Carter's thumb. Diana is faced with stepping further into the game or risking her family's safety. And going into episode 4 of 7, it says when tragedy strikes, Tariq and the Tejadas are set on a mission to avenge what they've lost. The key thing about this and why people think Diana died is her name is no longer mentioned in any other descriptions for episodes 8, 9, or 10. So a lot of people believe it's her that tragically passed within this sequence of episodes right here, with them talking about her stepping further into the game or risking her family's safety, and when they said tragedy strike. Now we're gonna get into the Drew and Kane section when we talk about episode 8 later in the video, but I think her death will play a big part in their rivalry and feud taking off, with them of course going behind his back, tricking him to kill Tariq, the whole Monet situation, everything like that. I think it all is gonna come to a boiling point with Diana's death. And I even think that the scene that we see of Monet screaming, how everyone's predicting it could be Kane, it could be Drew, it being Diana could actually make a lot of sense, with that being her only daughter. But with all that being said, Diana's death is something we're gonna have to pay very close attention to going into season 4, as a lot of people didn't have her on their death list, but with all this coming out, I think she moved up pretty far. So once again, keep your eye out for Diana and her demise. And that brings us to the war between Kane and Drew, the battle for the streets and for the head of the Tejada household, because over the course of all 3 seasons, we've seen both Monet and Lorenzo anoint Drew as the heir, basically to take over, to run everything, but Kane always wanted that spot, that position, and we seen him blackmail Lorenzo to get it at one point in time. But we also saw when Lorenzo died and Kane stepped up and put his chain on, he said he was going to put family first and be the person that can actually lead the family. But now we know all that's going to come to a head, as we see in the description for episode 8, Higher Calling. It says Kane and Drew compete for the streets. So I think it's going to come to a head where they're now fully on opposite sides, going at one another. And if the Diana death prediction is true, I think it adds a bonus amount of animosity towards one another, constantly going behind each other's back, being pitted against one another by their parents. It's all gonna come to a head in this last and final season. And I think all of this actually makes sense. This family has been collapsing for a few seasons now, with losing Zeke, with losing Lorenzo, and it only makes sense that at this point in time, with all these descriptions, all of them literally talk about how Monet is doing everything to save her family, to keep them all together, it finally all explodes on one another and it all comes crashing down. And then the idea of a Kane and a Drew battling finally to be the king of the Tejadas, to run the organization, to be the one and only, it won't be anyone left standing. Once again, with the loss of Zeke, Lorenzo, and possibly Diana, if they were to take out one another in this street battle, then what would be left? So their war going into the season is going to play a big part throughout each and every episode, and I think up until the finale. I think they're gonna have to make allies. It looks like Kane is gonna be working with Noma closely a lot, as a lot of these descriptions say, but we're gonna have to wait and see for all of that. And to be honest, I can't even simply just say Kane will win, because since the death of Lorenzo, Drew honestly been crashing out. We saw him go and kill the Russians, get back. He's the one who started that whole war. Then we also seen him and Diana come up with this whole plan after he took out Gordo for killing Lorenzo. So he's completely gone in the mind. He's been losing it, so it won't be as easy as some people may think it is. I think they'll have a hard fought battle, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Drew was to come out on top. Kane, for some reason, is always getting outsmarted, and it wouldn't shock me if it was to happen again, but maybe this could finally be the one and only time. He is the winner. He outsmarts everyone else, but once again, we're gonna have to wait and see for that. And with this being the ending, that definitely is on the table as well. Overall, that's it for this video. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions on everything down below. Do you really believe Diana will die in this last and final season? I honestly think it's looking very likely, and once again, it's what starts the war or fully kicks it off between Drew and Kane. Monet, she's gonna try her hardest to keep the family together as we read, but that isn't gonna go too well. Also, something interesting we have to see is it looks like the Tejadas and Tariq might be in cahoots again, or working alongside one another towards the later end of the season. We got to see how they reconcile those relationships, and I want to see the interactions between Kane and Tariq, of course, because Kane was so hell bent on killing this man just because his family told him he was the one who shot Monet. I want to see if he admits he was wrong, how he goes about the situation, about finding out his siblings tricked him. It's a lot we have to see. We're still like 5-6 weeks away, still feels so far. I'm expecting another trailer to drop within the next 2 weeks, so look out for a breakdown of that, and also look out for a full dead predictions video before the season drops. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.